All right, coming to you live from the Middle East. Now, I know some of you would really like me to tell you that you're great and you're worth it just the way you are, and body positivity movement stuff. All the guys should date the fat chicks, and all the chicks should date the dad bods. And if you don't, then you're a terrible person. But I'm not going to do that because that's all bullshit. Okay, nobody wants your mom bod or your dad bod. All right, so let's get that out of the way right now. The hindbrain, the monkey brain, is going to be more attracted to somebody who is more physically in shape and in better health than somebody who is not. The version of you that is not in good shape is going to be less attractive than the version of you that is in shape. That is a universal fact. Guys, I know you're success objects and everything. I don't care if you have $1 billion falling out of your pocket and you pull up in a Lambo. She will act like she likes you. Women are really good at that. She will feign attraction and feign desire because she may want to see and want a lifestyle. She may be genuinely attracted to other parts of you, like such as your success and your drive. That being said, her chimpanzee brain that is going to orgasm harder and more often is going to respond to the way, very much respond to the way your body looks and is. All right, so even if you are very successful, don't think that that's going to ride you out with your potential long-term mate. All right, you are always better off being in better shape. Ladies, sorry to say, but you are in fact sex objects. That is just your job, all right? That is the way males will see you when they're thinking of mating potential. Sure, they'll respect your PhD or your career or whatever, your hobbies. They'll respect that stuff and like it, if they care about you as a person, but they don't want to have sex with your PhD or your hobby, okay? They want to have sex with your body. So the better it looks and the more healthy it is, the more that it's going to hit that guy's chimpanzee brain and make him want to mate with you, put a ring on it, be with you, all that good stuff, right? So I always ask, when people are having issues with sexual issues, different things, is to take a good look in the mirror and ask themselves, would I bang me? Okay? More what I'm asking, of course, is, are you in fact bangable? If you've let yourself go, you don't look or feel the way that you should, you need to start doing something about it. Because how you show up is going to directly affect your sex life. And sex is a foundational aspect of all relationships. Without it, it's a friendship, right? And so if you want to continue with somebody and make them happy to be with you, or allow them, enable them to be happy to be with you, you need to show up as the best version of yourself, physically speaking. Okay, and that is just the facts. And that's not widely accepted, but we all know it's true, right? I mean, we do, don't we? So it comes down to other things, though, other than just, banging, okay? And also, it's an indicator. The reason what makes it a red flag is an indicator of the type of person we're dealing with, all right? If they're showing up and they're not the best version of themselves, or at least working on it physically speaking, that's going to tell you something. That's going to tell you that they're not interested necessarily in being their best self. So, hey, you know what? If you have, Roseanne and Dan Connor from the Roseanne show showing up fat and happy, and they're happy to be together, whatever, and they're just fat and they die early of heart disease, but they don't care, and they're happy, good, great for them. I'm not criticizing them. Be you, okay? But if you're coming to me for coaching, we're probably dealing with gender dynamics or relationships or dating issues, but we're also dealing with lifestyle as well. I'm a lifestyle coach. So I'm never going to coach you to be, not the best version of yourself, physically speaking, because that directly affects every other aspect of your life. So think about it for a second. If you're listening to this video right now, you're probably interested or at least driven to want to be the best version of you. And so now you're driven towards that and you're with somebody who doesn't care about their health, right? So that's a values problem. They're not interested in being the best version of them for whatever reason. And so that is a values issue that is going to conflict later on if it doesn't right off the bat. And I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what he or she looks like either. I mean, she could be 25 years old and smoking hot and has good genetics, but, drinks every night and lives off of Nachos Belgrande or whatever, that's going to catch up to her in 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? And so if she doesn't change that lifestyle, that's going to be a problem later. It's going to be a problem for her mood regulation. It's going to be a problem for her mental and emotional state as well as her physical state. She's going to hit the wall and explode. And you've, of course, then, or she spits a baby out, and now her hormones change, everything's different, and that old lifestyle just doesn't work anymore. And so if she's not oriented towards taking care of herself, she's not going to be later. It just doesn't get better. Do you understand? And this is the same with guys. If you're just kind of working out so you can bag some chick and then you think you're going to relax and let yourself go, you know what I mean? You're not doing anybody any favors, yourself or your chick for that matter. But if that's what you see in this potential partner, that's a red flag, because again, it just doesn't get better. They usually don't. 9 out of 10 times, they're not starting off not caring about their bodies and then being fitness models later, okay? It does happen. I've seen it, all right? But it's so rare that can you really bank and risk on that? Are you going to invest your time and your energy into a person hoping that they change later? I never recommend that. That's usually a bad choice, okay? So the other aspect too, and I mentioned it, referenced it a little bit, is hormones, right? Just your hormonal balance, your emotional balance. It is pretty solid science that anxiety, depression, and mood regulation is directly rooted into your physical health and your physical shape and your cardiovascular health. So if you're not watching what you're eating and being active, it's going to affect your mood. And so now you have someone showing up in a relationship, if you're in a long-term relationship or way down the line, this depressed or anxious person or just unpleasant person to be around. And that's directly related to their health and their well-being, on a fitness level and dietary level. All right. So that's a big problem with that. It's not just looks and sex appeal, although that is very important. I started with that for a reason, but it's about these other issues too, longevity as well. So you want to grow old with somebody, how are you going to do that if the person doesn't take care of their health, right? And so it's a real values problem if they're unwilling to do this and take care of their health, and if it's not a priority for them, all right? It's a difference in values. And just like I would say it's a red flag or a real problem that would have to be fixed if you're going to go anywhere past the dating or hooking up stage, would be like, let's say, spiritual beliefs. Let's say you have a religious background and religion is important to you, and you're with someone who's a staunch atheist, right? Somebody's going to have to give in that, all right? Or you're going to have an issue moving forward, because now you have to reconcile that somehow. That is a real values issue. Could two people like that, be in a long-term relationship? Absolutely, I've seen it happen. But there's usually a rift there and a separation that prevents it from being really that best relationship that it could be. And it causes conflicts later. Well, the religion, spiritual belief thing, that's more esoteric. The physical thing isn't. The physical thing is right in your face. So if you're not taking care of your physical body, your physical health, and your fitness, that is going to be in your face. It's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems sexually and so on. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask you, do you want your partner to want to have sex with you out of genuine desire because they're genuinely aroused by you, or do you want them to do that because they're horny and you're the only option because they're in a long-term relationship? So I think you know the answer to that. And if you're not taking care of your physical body and your physical health, it's definitely not going to be, your partner's just simply not going to desire you the way that you would want to be desired. Now, although being a gym rat is great, okay, and ladies, if you want to get that nice fat ass squatting booty, right, power to you. Get in that gym and get it. Okay, guys, you want to get a nice set of traps and shoulders and maybe a little abs or some good legs, that women are attracted to. Hell yeah, go and get it. Okay, I highly recommend that as your first option. In fact, that being said, though, no, you don't. I don't recommend, everybody doesn't have to be a gym rat, because I know that that's going to be the first criticism I'm going to get, is that you're in shape and you're in gym all the time. And of course, the binary thinking kicks in. Well, I don't want to spend 5 hours a day in the gym. Like, okay, you don't have to spend 5 hours a day in the gym. You just have to take care of yourself. If it's the gym, you can get away with a couple times a week, okay? You're not trying to be a professional athlete. You're just trying to take care of your health and your appearance, right? And so, but even more than that, what if you're with somebody, and let's say she hates the gym, but she does like other activities that keep her body, in good shape, and she watches what she eats in her diet, and she's thinking about that stuff. That's still okay, right? Like, you could go to the gym a bunch and she could be into, racquetball or something, right? Or volleyball or whatever. Maybe she plays some sort of sport, or, she does P90X, who knows, right? Like, whatever it may be. As long as she's oriented in thinking, as long as she makes that a priority in her life, her appearance and her fitness level needs to be a priority. If you're a female, by the way, 100% that is true. And I'm just going to be real with you. You are going to get less attractive every year that goes by, where guys don't have that problem quite so much. Yeah, I know, controversy, but I don't really care. It's the way it is. The best way to maintain your physical attractiveness for any potential new mates, or for the one that you have, is to stay in shape and stay healthy. Okay? But guys, you're not immune either, okay? You can decline rather rapidly too as you age if you aren't doing this. All right? So it's something that everyone needs to be aware of, and a huge red flag, really, because I've seen so many situations where a guy or a girl get involved in a relationship. They think the other person's great, but this fitness thing isn't really a priority, right? And then that first kid happens, or this happens, that happens, and then they're with somebody 5 years, 7 years, 8 years later that they're just not that attracted to. Sure, they'll say they are. Yeah, she's great. Oh, I love her. Oh, I love him. All that stuff, right? But they're really not that sexually into you, okay? And they're not sexually into their partner. Now they're trapped. They're in a little bit of a prison. Do not imprison yourself with somebody who doesn't have the value of taking care of their body and their health, all right? And don't create that prison. If you're with somebody now, and I'm describing you as someone who's let themselves go, don't be mad at me, okay? Get your ass in gear and start changing that, right? Because you don't want to be creating a prison and a sexual prison for your partner either. You want your partner to genuinely desire you. I think it's pretty universal, male or female, that's what we want, especially if we've committed ourselves into an LTR, long-term relationship situation, right? So do that, to make it a priority. If it hasn't been for you, turn it around. I've seen a lot of people, okay, myself included. There was a time when I was a little bit heavier, not in a good way, but I've seen males, females turn it around in their 30s and 40s, like not being in good shape and just boom, all of a sudden being calendar level. You know what I mean? And they got tired of all the baggage that went with the lifestyle of not taking care of yourself and all the problems that caused, both in their relationships as well as personally. They just got tired of it and they fixed it. So if that's you, go do that and fix it. All right, I don't care how busy you are. I don't care what you got going on. Just make it a priority. All right? But if you're, looking at vetting potential mates and you're not in a marriage or a serious long-term relationship yet, don't expect that this other person is going to turn into that person that 10 years later a light bulb comes on and all of a sudden they're a fitness model. All right? Do not bank on that, because that is a rare situation. Though very possible, people rarely do that. So once again, values when it comes to fitness and health, if they don't have the same value, if they don't have values of taking care of themselves, of being fitness oriented, of being health oriented, that is a red flag. I don't recommend that you stick with somebody very long who is demonstrating or showing this red flag. Okay, it's just going to cause you a ton of problems later. Thanks again for tuning in. Yes, I know some of you are going to be very triggered by this, and that's okay, because maybe that's what you need to kick your ass in gear. So like the video, all right? subscribe it to it. Send it to somebody who needs it. All right? I'm taking the time out and the energy out here in a combat zone to give you this message. So the least you can do is help me out and subscribe and like my stuff so I can continue to do this and provide good content for good people like yourself. Thanks for tuning in.